Los Angeles, California. It's the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
What is up, friends? And welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name is Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who is robbed of all of his pants and underwear and is currently using his boner as a wiffle ball bat. That's Jeff Clark.
It's wrong. Wasn't robbed. Lost him to my bookmaker.
And transmitting to us from the inside of Moodang the Hippo's butt, the bearded booger destroyer known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo! What's up, fellas?
Here we go. Man.
How are you feeling today, Kevin?
I would say my battery is not at 100%. I'd say that's a safe assessment. But
I was asleep by 9:30. It was closer to 9:45 because I watched kickoff of the delayed Cowboys-Steelers game and then immediately fell asleep.
Oh, yeah. That game didn't end until probably 1 o'clock your time. One of my fucking 3 losers this last week. All 3. I know this isn't the spot for this, and you guys, we got to talk about the bachelor party and all that stuff. Dad-chelor party.
There you go.
All 3 of my losses came on the final play of yesterday. I was like, there was a moment I was walking little mama late at night. I was like, why not just throw myself in front of traffic? Why not just do it?
And then
whatever.
little mama looked up at you and started wheezing, and you realized, I have to keep going for her.
she threw up in her mouth, and I was like, oh, there's my girl.
I was going to throw myself into traffic, but little mama flipped upside down, started eating her own pussy, and I was like, you know what? There's more to life.
I can't go down before her. Who the hell is going to give her all the treats she needs?
Yeah. But what were you saying? Oh, you went to bed super early last night.
Yeah, I crashed out. I got home. Draven and I watched a few episodes of Undeclared.
God, that show's awesome.
I went to bed.
That show
I used to love that show.
My flight was at like 8:55, and then it got delayed. So I didn't get on the plane until around 10, and I don't know when it took off.
So they delayed it.
You just cut out,
been
Shuddy.
Delayed.
What was that?
I don't know why my microphone's just switched. Sorry, guys. I said it got delayed more than it was delayed when I left you with your sister and brother-in-law.
Yep. It got delayed further and then took off a little late. And then I think by the time I landed at LAX, it was 12:45 LA time. So I was already accustomed to East Coast. So that's what, like 3:45?
Yep.
And then I had to walk all the way out of LAX to the taxi rideshare pickup area. And I think I got home around like 1:30. And then
that's not bad. I figured you'd be home closer to 2:33.
That's probably around the time that I passed out.
Carl didn't pick you up?
No. She dropped me off on my way out there. But I don't
What's
think
the point of even having a girlfriend?
But I got back, and then I had to like unpack some of my shit, brush my teeth, get ready, smoke a little weed, get in bed, and then, didn't fall asleep exactly when my head hit the pillow, but yes, Dave! Whoa! Yeah!
Gesundheit.
I would say I probably got to bed around like 2:30ish, which would be, for what my body was used to, 5:30 a.m. And then I thought
you think your body was used to East Coast time after the 3 days of really not having a set sleep schedule?
Well, because I was still like I was going to bed late, waking up multiple times throughout the night, every night there, and then waking up early, tossing and turning for a bit, seeing if I could fall back asleep, and then just being like, nope, fuck it, time to go downstairs and see if I can party this out of me. So I didn't sleep well all fucking weekend. And then I had to set an alarm to wake me up early this morning for, to get my stupid ass Ritalin. I have to get every 3 months, I have to go on like a Zoom call with a doctor where they're literally just like, medication still working? Yes. Are you sleeping okay? Yes. Any issues with the medication? No. All right, well, we're sending the refill to the pharmacy. I had a 9 a.m. one, which, not super early, but for not sleeping all weekend, partying all weekend, staying up mad late, that did kind of suck ass to have to set an alarm, wake up for that, only to find out they canceled it on me.
They didn't reschedule? Just a straight cancellation?
Oh, no, they rescheduled. They just didn't tell me.
They just didn't notify
Gotcha.
him.
Yeah.
I was like my flight from Albany to LA. I was like, yeah, we canceled your flight, but we didn't tell you.
Oh,
Like,
thank
okay,
you.
cool.
But yeah, the Dad-chelor party, I would say, surprisingly without major incident.
How many Dad-chelor party dicks would you say?
It's the best Dad-chelor party I've ever been to.
Yeah. It was eventful. It just didn't have any disastrous events.
Did anyone ever almost, I guess not, I guess you already answered this, but I was wondering or hoping someone had some near death experience at the water park.
Mark Rooster.
The closest near death experience was me almost murdering Dom on Friday night, but that was the closest any of us came to death.
Jeez, he's the groom. What did he do? He must have really fucked up.
Shuddy was very salty.
No. What?
He went very hard Friday night. Very hard. Like teetering on
issue?
Blackout drunk. The issue was at 2 a.m. when everybody was in bed, he was downstairs slamming cabinets trying to find a cereal bowl while everyone else was trying to sleep.
Very hard.
After he almost spilled Jim Beam and Coke all over the carpet of the Airbnb.
Yeah.
While doing nothing but standing. He stumbled so bad just standing that the minimal amount of Jim Beam and Coke, maybe about 3/4 of an inch, sloshed up out of the cup and just, by the grace of God, landed in the cup and not on the white carpet.
Yeah, Dom did that intentionally.
Gotcha.
He was in full control.
And then I handed the glass to Mark Rooster to take care of, thinking that he was at least partway in better shape than Dom, only to have him fall down the stairs with it. Not down the stairs, but trip and land on his ass on the stairs while holding it.
Yeah, it was we crammed a lot in a short period of time, because I landed Thursday night. Shuddy and Draven picked me up, and I was just, hungry from barely eating anything all day in the long flight and the time change. So we stopped at a diner on the way to Shuddy's, and it ended up being, I guess, a somewhat famous one, the Clifton Diner. What is it?
Clinton Station Diner.
So they have a eating challenges there, Jeff. So have you ever seen those like viral pictures of somebody holding a burger that's like, I don't know, like 2 feet wide?
Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah, not at the Clifton Station Diner. Is that what you said?
Clinton Station Diner.
Clinton.
So I
haven't seen anything from there.
Yeah, those are the burger challenges. So you can either eat that gigantic tray of burgers like Wimpy from Popeye, or you can eat that enormous one.
All of the challenges. The biggest one is if you and 9 friends can finish the 8th wonder, which is 105 pounds total in 1 hour, will give you 2 grand. Then there's if you and 4 friends can finish the Mount Olympus, 25 pounds of beef, 50 pounds total in 1 hour. It's on the house and you win $1,000.
I mean, you got to go with the first one based on that, based on the poundage. Oh, wait. Yeah. It's close.
They're all psychotic. They're like, these are all trips to the hospital. Let's see.
Yeah. But
you would have to.
Is
you
the
have to,
food good?
Each person doing the eighth wonder would consume 11.6 pounds of food.
Wait, why do they have a whole
in an hour
tab? Why do they have a whole tab for EV Tesla charging?
They're very
because
proud
they have a giant Tesla charging station there for some reason. That's why.
And if you tackle
Cool,
the
I
Zeus,
guess.
if you tackle the Zeus burger, oh wait, so hold on. If you and 9 friends, so that means 10 people. Okay, so I fucked up on that.
10.5 pounds.
Yeah. And then, 10 pounds for the Mount Olympus. 25 pounds of beef, 50 pounds in total. The Zeus burger, 15 pounds in total. You doing it solo, you have an hour and a half to eat 15 pounds of food. Like, you have to be one of those my 1,000-pound life people in order to consume that, right? Anybody else, like a stomach any smaller than that, would probably burst. You'd be like that, the first person to croak in 7.
Where did I find the pricing for the burgers? Was it on?
Oh, yeah, those were.
It was on
The prices on them are insane, and you have to, if you feel like tackling it, I think you have to call them a day in advance to like prep for it. I don't think you can just show up and be like, give me that big thing. Because, like, it's also like, how many of those are they selling? So how many of those enormous fucking patties do they have on hand at any given time? I wonder if it just takes them 24 hours to make the patty.
So the Zeus, 95.19, that's the 7-pound one. 110 with cheese, 121 with lettuce and tomato. The eighth wonder is $557.19. $596.09 with cheese, $683.69 deluxe. But Jeff,
almost $700 for a burger.
The important part of this is we need you to order the Zeus on Goldbelly and do a snack attack.
How much does it cost again?
So on Goldbelly, I believe it's $144 for the Zeus.
Oh, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
They will ship you the 7-pound patty and the giant bun for it. All you have to do is get someone to cook it for you somehow.
Yeah, how do you prep that? You have to throw it in the oven. Like, who has a frying pan that big enough or a grill big enough?
Only Pee Wee Herman would have a frying pan that large.
To serve, you thaw the burger patty in the refrigerator overnight, preheat the oven at 375, place burger patty on a lightly oiled tray. It's at least a half-inch deep. I think I'd have to buy a separate tray for this mammoth motherfucker. But it only takes 15, 20 minutes to cook. And you got to let it sit for 10 minutes.
That sounds crazy.
And it says cut the bun in half, cut the tomatoes in slices, cut the lettuce. And yeah, obviously. I can just put the fucking head of lettuce in the patty.
Yeah, and like 3 whole onions. Wow.
Cut the burger.
Look at that stack of cheese.
It says it's for 12 to 14 people. Excuse me.
I can't even eat that amount of cheese by myself. Look at that stack of fucking sliced cheese.
You can't eat 5 pounds of American cheese by yourself in an hour and a half?
Nope. Tried that in college. Did not work. Barfed all over the dorm.
How was the diner itself, though? The food?
I mean, I just got a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. And
for those people not from North Jersey like Kevin and I, that means he got a pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I come from a Taylor ham family. Some people call it pork roll, and they get very passionate about it. But I call those people wieners. Call it whatever the fuck you want. It's the same thing. But I did get, those Italian, like, rainbow cake cookies. They're like a square, and there's like different colored like cake bites. And
Yeah,
then
you
there's
love
that.
those.
Yeah, they had a fucking cake version of it that was this big. So I ordered it, and it was fucking
This
wonderful.
might be Kevin's biggest fuck up of the weekend, though.
Yeah, but I think it worked out in my favor. So I ate my whole Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. No shocker there. And then they brought the cake out, and I would say a little bit more than half of it, but it was exactly what I wanted. It was fucking perfect. I was like, shit, this could just be a trick, and it's just going to be a regular cake. But no, it tasted like a giant version of those cookies that I love. And they're impossible to find in California. They're really hard to find. But
Yeah.
I
haven't
got
seen like many Italian bakeries out here.
I got it to go. I wanted to get it to finish it, and I'm so stupid. I put it on the lid, and then
Oh, that was
the
they
waiter.
handed one of those. They gave him one of those like Italian restaurant type to go things, like the round foil pan
And you just like crimp
with
it
the
around the
plastic
edges.
and the plastic lid, but they gave it with lid upside down inside the thing. And Kevin plopped the cake on. He's like, I don't understand why it's not. I need a lid. What's wrong? And I was like, Kevin, it's on the lid.
Well, in my
Uh,
defense, the lid is invisible. It is see-through.
it's
Those are
not
different
that.
things. Those are different things.
Yeah, it was not invisible.
It was in predator mode. It's very hard to see.
It was camouflaged.
And then we got up and left, and I just left it on the table.
But he didn't realize that until we got back to my house.
Did
And
you
he's
call?
like, he's like, "Where's my cake?"
You should have called. Hey, can you save that cake for me? I'm gonna come back in a couple days.
Dude, we ate so fucking poorly that I'm glad I forgot it. My body is in really, really bad shape for the damage that I put it through. Not only with the amount of drinking, but the just the terrible quality of food that we ate. I mean, when we get to the fucking casino buffet and we list
Jeff,
off all the things we ate there.
you will be proud. At the casino buffet, I did exclusively proteins and desserts.
That is wonderful. There should,
Not a single fucking vegetable passed my lips at the buffet.
or should there be? I'm sure Kevin hit the salad bar hard. That fucking.
Incorrect.
Not as hard as Mark Rooster did, stupid vegetarian.
I didn't hit it at all. There was no salad. I did the royal sampler. I got 3 plates and then double desserts. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, the next morning, Dom and Bonbon were meeting us at Shuddy's, and we were all just going to carpool up to the Poconos. But Dom had 2 things he needed to do beforehand. He needed to go to Target to get the Kelsey Mix cereal, and we needed to go to the Quakertown Meth Mart. Because
also known as Quakertown Farmers Market.
he wanted to trade in a whole bunch of old movies to the used DVD, Blu-ray, and video game store and get more things for his N64. So I know a lot of people saw on Facebook and our Instagram account the list of like the box of N64 games that Dom was bringing to the party. And we did also get people saying like, wait a second, doesn't Kevin have an emulator? Which you're right, I do. And it does have pretty much every N64 game on it, but it's still a hacked mini Super Nintendo. And you can't play N64 games on a Super Nintendo controller. And you also can't plug N64 controllers into it. So the N64 portion of the emulator is utterly useless. So Dom, also, he's a purist. He doesn't want to play a fucking emulator. He has all the old systems. And he has, on the patio of his house, he has an old, just straight up tube TV that he plays them on.
It's as much about collecting the games as it is playing the games for Dom. It might even be more about collecting than playing.
Yeah. So we
Sure
did like,
hope.
What's up?
Sure hope it's more about collecting than playing. I mean, eventually.
I mean, we did
Eventually.
a big lap of the meth mart before landing on the video store. So this was the place. I forget if we talked about it, but the last time I was in PA, we went there, and they had this movie called Salo, which I heard a podcast of Quentin Tarantino and Edgar Wright talking about it as like the most fucked up movie they've ever seen. It's not streaming anywhere, and I was like, oh shit, they have a sealed copy of Salo. And the fucking guy that works there overheard me. And I had to hear about how he named his cat Salo and like how many times he's seen the movie. And I'm like, man, that's not something you want to tell a stranger. But he was there again this time. And
He was
Shuddy.
there again, and Kevin and I did everything we could to dodge anybody who would talk to us at the video store. And then I made the mistake of being within earshot of him and making a joke about a movie that I don't even remember what the movie was. And the dude like ran over to me to talk about it. And as soon as words came out of that guy's mouth, Kevin ran away so fast I could feel the breeze. Like I knew he was gone, like instantly.
Yeah.
Like
I'm surprised there weren't like Hanna-Barbera sound effects when I jetted out. There's like I was like, fuck this. I've fallen for that trap before. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with that today.
So I got stuck in that trap by myself.
Yep. I mean, you would have done the same thing to me, Shuddy.
I absolutely fucking would have.
So we had to kill a lot of time in there because Dom was haggling and trading things in. And the one thing he wanted Bomberman 64, which is a killer game. I love that game. I played the fuck out of it when I was a kid. I unlocked like all the secrets. I spent endless hours in my room in like middle school playing that while listening to either Bone Thugs and Harmony, Art of War, or Timbaland and Magoo just on repeat. And
Real quick, just to jump ahead a little bit.
yeah.
We played that game. Kevin lost the first 3 matches and then won the next 6 in a row.
I feel like that made everybody want to quit, and we never played it again.
That's exactly why I stopped playing.
So Dom is working his magic, and then Shuddy comes over, and he's like, oh my God, Dom is losing it. Dom's losing it. So he was dead set on this copy of Bomberman, and the whole reason he brought a bag of shit to trade in was so he could get it. And apparently on the inside where the chip, what do they call that thing, Shuddy? The
little connectors, the pins.
The chip that you blow into was supposedly full of cobwebs and dust and shit. So the lady goes to clean it for him and pulls out a bottle of Windex, and Dom was not having it. He's like, no, you don't clean those with Windex. You have to use alcohol, rubbing
alcohol.
Which Dom is 100% correct. When I had that copy of fucking Power Blade 2 that I sold on eBay for, nice chunk of change, the guy at the video game store was like, he's like, I'll clean it off for you and we can pop it in this machine over here and see if it works. And he cleaned it with rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip. And it worked. So Dom was just like, no, I don't want... That's going to ruin the pins. It's going to ruin the chip. And this lady would not have it. And Dom was pissed. Like, Dom is a very, like, laser-focused guy. If he has something in mind, it has to happen that way, or else he's going to lose it. And this woman would not budge. And I actually did feel bad for Dom, because he's a fucking 100% right. I even looked it up. I'm like, what happens if you clean in old games, like pins, with Windex? And there were all these Reddit things being like, do not do that. It will erode it.
Basically, everything on Reddit said, nothing good. Nothing good will come from it.
Yeah. And Dom was so fucking excited about this. So I did feel for him. That was fucked up. But the lady did go forward and clean it with goddamn Windex. And then Dom just had a complex the entire trip to the Poconos until he got there to hook up his N64 and try it out. And as Shuddy said, it worked. It worked. Worked a little too well because I butt-fucked everybody and made them not want to play it anymore. But Oh, and then we went to. So the Meth Mart has a Methier Mart in the back of it, which I was not aware of. So we went over to Methier Mart, and they have another retro gaming store in there, and they had copies of Nintendo Power, and there were stacks of them, and they had this one with Power Blade on the cover, which is one of my like all-time favorite video games, NES games. And the sequel to this one, Power Blade 2, that's the one that I flipped on eBay for like a ton of dough. So I saw this and I was like, oh my God, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And then Dom was flipping through the stack and he found... It was basically the equivalent if you found like a giz-riddled porno mag in the woods when you're a kid and you're like, well, I don't have any other options and this is my only way to see boobies. So I will take this, but I'm not happy about it. He found a Nintendo Power, like a really early issue of it that had the Ninja Turtles game on the cover. But like it was beat to shit. There was pen scribbles on the cover of it. Someone ripped the centerfold out. And he talked the guy down to get it for $3. But I was so stoked to get this. Me and Dom like couldn't put our issues down. And I'm going to do, for anybody who's on the $10 Patreon tier who enjoys Kevin's Nerd Hole, I'm going to go through this and play like all the featured games and just do like a Nintendo Power series. But
Oh, that's sweet.
That's a fun gimmick. Like, that's a fun theme for it. I think you should do that. You should do this and then buy another Nintendo Power. I can go and I'll just pick one out of the stack at random.
I mean, for $5
and sell it and send it to you, and then
I mean, the cover price for this in like 1991, I think this is from, is $3.50. So in over 30 years, 30 plus years, I only paid $1.50 uptick, which I was looking online, and if people are selling Nintendo Powers online for way more than that. But I feel like something else happened. What the fuck else happened in the Meth Mart?
we went to the gyro place.
No.
But there was nothing else that really crazy happened at the Meth Mart.
No, I guess I was very surprised to learn that there was a tattoo parlor in there. Like, who the fuck would get a tattoo there in their right mind?
Yeah, no one. No
He's a
one.
good artist.
He's such a good artist that he takes walk-ins at a place that's only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I mean, his family member is an organizer of the Meth Mart, so he does it as a favor.
Yeah, and then we went to Target so Dom could pick up his Kelsey Mix cereal, which is Reese's Cocoa Balls. What is it? It's Reese's?
Reese's Puffs, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Lucky Charms.
And my God, it is glorious. It is wonderful.
I will say I was not all that hyped for it. I said last week that it didn't really interest me, but at 1 a.m. on Friday when I was a little drunk and extremely medicated from my medicinal marijuana, because I made what I am referring to as a sleeping bag.
Shuddy, I'm going to text those to you now if you want to screen share the pictures. You have got to see the fucking bag.
The volcano bag I made for the weekend. It only got filled and used once. It's that insane. But I ate a bowl of that cereal and it could not have been more perfect.
Oh my God, yeah. If you find that cereal, I don't know why it works. It sounds like it would be fucking disgusting. Like that many different cereals mixed together, but it was like Food Wars. I took one bite and I was like, "Oh!" and my clothes flew off.
The mix of all three makes the two that I really like. I'm indifferent to Cinnamon Toast Crunch and outwardly have avoided Lucky Charms for most of my life. So it takes those two cereals with the Reese's Puffs and really, really fucking brings them up a notch.
Yeah. So let's see. Then by the way, the entire time Shuddy had this nostalgic playlist going in the car, and it was all just like 90s songs that I'd completely forgotten about. And I I was like, man, this really does kind of feel like time traveling. We're fucking on a road trip with my college buddies. Look at that. Look at that bag Shuddy made. That's a volcano bag.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And out of nowhere, around that was late at night too. That was like past midnight.
That was like 12:30 at night. Everybody's like, "Let's smoke the volcano." I was like, "Well, if there's going to be this many of us smoking, I'll fill out the sleeping bag."
And then it only ended up being 4 of us.
Yep. And it put us all to sleep.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to see that, check out the YouTube of this episode. Because wow, like I was honestly like, I don't even know if this is gonna work. Because sometimes, if I fill up a bag and if you don't hit it really quickly, it kind of settles and almost like vapor congeals and it gets harsher.
Yeah, I was wondering, how long can you guys? Because you've worked on that bag the whole week or the whole
No,
weekend.
you have about a half hour.
Yeah, before it just gets nasty.
I'm sure you said this in the beginning, but how many people are in your party again?
That night there were 11 of us.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but only 4 of us tackled the sleeping bag. It was almost like that
Yeah,
burger
and the other
challenge
7 were narcs.
at the Clinton Diner.
The other 7 were wearing a wire.
Yeah.
No, because all but 3 people smoked during the weekend.
What?
4
That's
people.
it?
Dom didn't smoke.
Yeah, but like I could have sworn there were other people smoking here and there. There's really only you, me, and 2 other people that smoked? That can't be right.
No, I said only 3 people didn't.
Oh, didn't. Okay, sorry.
Didn't.
But let's see. So where does that take us? So we get to the Airbnb. Dom's first order of business is hooking up the N64 and testing out Bomberman in the garage turned game room, which was actually pretty dope. They had a little foosball table, but it was, so little it was essentially worthless and nobody played it. A ping pong table, which sadly did not get really used at all. A pool table. And then they have like a couch, a big screen mounted on the wall with, shockingly, a PS4 attached and controllers that were just there for use. But we ignored that completely because I brought my Switch. Dom brought his N64. And I'm honestly a little bummed out by how little all of that got used. Everybody only had the attention span to play like one game. Like we fired up GoldenEye. And like, all right, who wants first? And I jumped in and we got a 4-player match going. They go for 10 minutes. It ended. And I was like, all right, who wants next? And everybody just fucking walked away. And I was like, oh, all right. Clearly, GoldenEye is not as fun as everybody remembers.
I mean, it was, as I said yesterday, I was never good at GoldenEye, even, back in the day or anything. So it just reinforced that I wasn't good at it. But it was so impossible after playing first-person shooters on controllers with 2 sticks for so long, only having the one that is movement and aim. It felt so foreign, and I just could not get the hang of it and got shit whipped.
It's I mean, for anybody who's in our age group who grew up playing the absolute fuck out of GoldenEye and like heard us talking about how the Dad-chelor party is going to have GoldenEye going and be like, oh, I'm so jealous. It's not as fun as you remember, and it's so hard. And you're playing on the N64 that has, like Shuddy said, that one analog stick, and your right thumb is constantly searching for a phantom right analog stick that doesn't exist. So everybody was just like, oh.
Dude, I remember playing GoldenEye in college, like as like a nostalgic thing, and be like, yeah, this isn't. I remember this being a lot more fun.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back
college for me was a long time ago.
When the Wii came out, they put GoldenEye on it again, but it was kind of like a revamped version with new levels and shit. And they shockingly didn't really do much updating to the graphics. Like for the Wii, the graphics on the GoldenEye for it were dog shit, but it was actually really fun. And despite the graphic shortcomings of it, I played so much of that game online. They had like these massive online multiplayer battles that kind of felt nostalgic. That felt like, all right, this is as fun as I remember it being. But playing actual GoldenEye on an N64, I was like, nope, no, this is not it. This is so fucking archaic. But yeah, the Airbnb in the Poconos turned out pretty sick. A lot of space. There was one room that had 4 bunk beds. And then Dom got the master bedroom that had its own like attached bathroom and shit. Shuddy got a solo. And then the other room was essentially my old college dorm. It was me and Bon Bon and Mr. Ski. Just for one night, because Mr. Ski had actual dad things to do, not Dad-chelor party. But that was a trip, because like back in the day when the 3 of us were roommates in college, pretty much every night when we all got into bed, turned the lights off, you had to factor in about like 60 to 90 minutes of just bullshitting in the dark, ripping on each other, making jokes, goofing off. And that's essentially what happened Friday night. And I was like, wow, I thought that was like an element of my life that was just gone for good. And I was like, this really was kind of like time travel in a few elements. Shuddy's nostalgic playlist, playing GoldenEye, and then bullshitting with my old college roommates.
Who erupted in raucous laughter when they heard me yelling at Dom down the stairs to cut the shit and be quiet.
Yeah, because we were just in there like ripping on each other, making jokes like old times. And this was after I had been drinking all night and then hit the sleeping bag with Shuddy and 2 other people. So I was crossfaded. I was really fucked up. And then they were like, someone said something, I forget who it was, but they're like, oh man, if Dom keeps talking out there, Shuddy's going to lose his shit. 30 seconds later.
Shuddy's going to walk home from the Poconos.
He almost did. But he had his car this time, so he almost drove home.
I did say to myself that if me trying to get Dom to settle down so the remaining 9 people can sleep and it turns into a fight, I'm going home. But it didn't. It didn't escalate past the me going, what the fuck are you 2 doing that is making so much noise? And they're like, we're not doing anything. Come to find out that they wanted cereal, and because our friend Andy snores really bad, worse than me, and slept in the living room because he didn't want to share a room with somebody and keep them awake, and he passed out before everyone. So he's on the couch sleeping and wakes up to Dom and Mark just fucking having their own like rager at 1 a.m. And I was like, Andy, what because it sounded like they were throwing furniture. That's how fucking loud it was. Like, it was like, oh my God, they're destroying this fucking house while they're unsupervised.
Which is on Shuddy's credit card.
Yeah, so I was extra tense.
Dom, no power tools. What? I said no power tools. Oh, okay, I'm done anyways.
Dude, it was so funny.
Like, Andy,
from my perspective, it was 30 seconds after somebody said, uh-oh, Shuddy's going to get pissed. And then we just hear a door slam and Shuddy go, what the fuck are you guys doing? Shut the fuck up! And we just were pissing ourselves. We laughed so hard, I think the whole house heard us.
I mean, so a little bit in Dom and Mark's defense.
It was a bachelor party?
Well, and also, no, there's that, but the walls were paper thin. You could hear everything that happened anywhere in the house except in the game room.
Oh, yeah, I could hear Spit snoring from our room with the door shut.
Yeah, like it was coming through the floor.
Yeah.
So it kind of like funneled up the stairs. So maybe they weren't being so loud. But come to find out that they wanted cereal. They ate 3/4 of a box of the family-size Kelsey mix.
How many boxes did you guys get?
Dom bought 2 boxes.
For 11 people?
Well, yeah, with the hopes that some would be left over to bring home.
And there was.
Should have gotten 4 boxes. Never mind.
But I was like, what the fuck were they doing? It sounded like they were throwing furniture around. And he's like, they just opened up every single cabinet looking for bowls until they finally found them. But yeah, Friday was the craziest night of it all.
Yeah.
Saturday was very low key. Dom woke up before we left for the water park on Saturday, still drunk.
Oh yeah. And I was like, man, Dom is going to be in rough fucking shape. And now that we're all middle-aged, you know, and we usually would be, back in the day, we would be convincing Dom to do more shots. We'd wait till he passed out. We'd turn him into a human sundae. We'd draw dicks on his face. This time we were all like, Dominic, drink this bottle of water. Drink water. How much water have you drank, Dom? Drink more. Remember, we have 2 big things on the agenda tomorrow. Drink more water. I was like, I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my mouth. I'm like, what the fuck am I even saying here?
But that was really what my concern was that Dom was not going to be in any shape for the second day of the bachelor party.
And I don't think he was.
Well, did he play through, right?
He did play through.
We all played through. But in all honesty, like, I didn't go as hard. I was kind of hoping that I think where I fucked up was I was drinking beer. And I really need to be chugging. We needed a beer bong there. We needed some sort of drinking game, drinking contest. Because if I'm drinking hard alcohol, I can usually get fucked up. But beer, I'm racing being tired. And tired kind of won. And then I hit the fucking sleeping bag. And that was sort of a KO punch. But I woke up so many times throughout the night. And then Mr. Ski had to leave early the next day because he's redoing his kitchen, so he had to meet his wife to go to the kitchen store to look for like whatever shit they're getting. And then
the kitchen store, Kevin?
Yeah. To go buy a kitchen.
Store.
And then he had to go from that to coaching his daughter's soccer practice. So he wakes up at like 7:30, 7:45, and hits the reverse button on his air mattress. So I get woken up by like, and now I got a headache because I'm hungover and shit, and I got cotton mouth, and I could not go back to sleep. So I maybe got 4 hours collective sleep on Friday night. And then we all rallied in the morning, made it to the water park, and we found out when we got there that the Poconos has like 3 different indoor water parks. And Shuddy did research on TripAdvisor to find the one that would be most fitting for a bunch of middle-aged dudes walking around with no kids and no wives.
And if TripAdvisor was right, and this is the one that has the least amount of children usually, I could not imagine what those other places were like on Saturday.
Yeah, it was fucking filled with kids. It was all kids. It was ridiculous.
We were the only adults there.
What a disgrace, am I right?
Without children. We were the only adults there that didn't also have children in tow.
Because I also knew that there was a swim-up bar at this place. So I'm like, all right, that's a good sign. They're catering to adults in some way, shape, or form. So we hit Shuddy's G-Pen on the ride over. So I got like a nice little base layer of Toasty to enjoy the water slides. And we kind of got a lay of the land when we got there and saw that they didn't have a ton of different slides. And the first one that we sort of zeroed in on, we're like, all right, this is a good place to start, was one of the ones, it was the only ride there that had a huge fucking raft that everybody piles into. So we get in this line, and it does not move. And we were there for so long before it actually started moving. And we found out it's because they had one operating raft. So like,
no, they had 2. It was 2 operating rafts, but it was slow as fuck.
It was crazy. So like, when you get on the thing and ride it down, and you get in that little crash pool where you get out and go on with your day, the current pulls that big raft over to some little sleeve, and this upward conveyor belt just snags it and slowly pulls it up like 6 stories to the top where the next people can ride it. It was fucking ridiculous how long that took. So we had 8 people with us. We'd split it up 4 and 4. And holy shit, that thing fucking takes off. I was in like the first group to go, and I went with Dom, and they tell you like sit down, cross your legs, and with each hand reach back and grab one of the handles behind you on the raft. And Dom couldn't get it. Like I think where he was sitting, they were uneven. So we're going down this tube, and Dom's just like, I don't know how to grab it. I don't know how to grab it. And he's panicking.
The hot dog all over again?
This thing shoots you down this huge drop, and then you go up this massive wall like it's a half pipe. So Dom was like flipping out that he couldn't get a safe hold, so he's freaking out thinking he's going to get hurt or something. He fucks his shoulder up. And we're just like screaming because we weren't expecting it to be this intense. When the second group went,
screaming.
that was the one that Shuddy was on, and he was there with Mark Rooster. And when they went up that big wall after the drop, Mark Rooster had his like back to it. So like they went up so high that the back of it left the wall. So he almost got like catapulted forward off of it. And I didn't see it, but they all said he had all the color drained out of him and it was like he saw a ghost. And when
Mark was terrified. Like it was so fucking funny to be on the ride with him because I don't think he enjoyed any part of that.
No, when we all regrouped, he just said in his like very quiet, deadpan Mark Rooster delivery, he was like, "Man, that one was kind of scary." So that after that,
oh man, I pooped myself.
They had the more hardcore stuff. So like I feel like every water park has to have like the big drop, the speed slide.
Yeah. The Cobra is we'd call it the Great Escape.
And it had nobody. Nobody was going on it. So we were like, all right, after waiting on that fucking long-ass line, let's just go do the gnarly one. And it turns out it's one of those ones that you get into, and it's kind of like a sealed-in pod, and you're standing on a fucking clear plexiglass pane. And it gives you a countdown, and the floor drops out from underneath you like a trap door, and you just get launched. And that one was pretty fucking gnarly. I feel like only a couple...
You said kids are riding this too, right?
Not many.
Well, they handle that shit better. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that scared most people off. But that one was pretty dope. And I was like, I can handle this shit. I've done big drop slides my whole life. And when I got in that pod and the door shut and I'm looking down at that clear fucking floor that's about to drop out from underneath me, I was like... Oh, this is intimidating. This is fucking intimidating. I was like in the midway of our whole group waiting to go, and when Dom got in there, I didn't know it at the time, but a little computer voice comes on and gives you a countdown. So we're just watching Dom in this like sealed tube with his arms crossed, and he's waiting for it, and we all watch him just go like this. He just like took this huge deep breath, let it out, had like the fear of God in his face. And we all start just cracking up, and the door fucking drops out from underneath him. And we were just like, oh, shit. This is kind of like, because we didn't know that there was a countdown. So we're like, oh, this is going to be like Russian roulette. That's almost like the scariest part. But
does it go right on the countdown, or do they like pump fake you? Because I like that. That'd be cool.
No,
it was counting down from 10 and just fires you out like 5.
No, it was like queef or no queef. It was like 3, 2, 1 queef, and then the floor dropped out. Oh, Shuddy's got a work call. So after like that first one took so goddamn long that we had now been at the park for like a considerable amount of time, and everybody was sort of the mindset of like, all right, let's go to the swim up bar. So we go to the bar. You have to like walk up a flight of stairs, go into the water, swim up to the bar, as the name says. You order your drinks, and you kind of just hang out in there. So we were like, all right, let's just relax in here a little bit, have a few cocktails. What's up?
Were the drinks super expensive?
Kind of, yeah. They sucked. I mean, especially for like Pennsylvania prices, they were like LA bar prices.
What are we talking here?
Like $15, $16 for a cocktail?
And they weren't that good though?
They were okay, but they weren't terribly strong. But, you know, I had already smoked on the ride over, and then I think this was still around like noon or 1. And then I crushed a couple of cocktails, spent enough time in there to get all pruny, and then I was like, well, I'm not really all that stoned anymore, so Shuddy was like, well, I got my vape pen, let's go out into the parking lot. So we get out, dry off, go out into the parking lot, and he had like one of those little cartridge weed vape pens, and I don't know why, but I got obliterated. I only took like a few rips. It was just me and Shuddy out there passing it back and forth. But by the time I got in there, I was having to put a lot of concentration even to just walk normally. I could barely talk. I was so high. So I was just like, ugh. I'm just gonna
Pennsylvania weed, huh?
I'm just gonna keep my goddamn mouth shut.
Or is it just because you used to smoke dad weed and Shuddy has stronger weed?
Honestly, like most of the times, if like the first time I get high for the day, which is usually only once, that's the one that's like most intense. And then the rest of the time I just get high. So I kind of figured since we already were ripping the G-Pen vape thing, where that just has flour in it and heats up the flour, that I had already gotten stoned that day, so I can handle rips of just the cartridges full of goo, and it sent me to another fucking planet. So I was just like the quiet, awkward stoned Kevin, and we used that opportunity to just hit every other water slide that we didn't get. We only rode 2 beforehand, and then we just banged out the rest of them. And they were actually kind of gnarly. There was one where you have to get, you know, those when it's like 2 inner tubes like stuck together, a double tube. Shuddy,
Yeah, the tubes dock, of course.
yeah. Shuddy and I rode that one, which was essentially a water slide roller coaster. It had like dips and stuff, and then when you would go down into the bottom of the dip, there was this really, really powerful jet of water that would blast you back up, and you would just keep doing all these dips. And when you sit in an inner tube and your ass is hanging down, that jet lined up perfectly with our nut sacks. Excuse me, scrote bags. So every time we got launched up the ramp, it was like a kick in the nuts. Aside from the ball pain, very, very fun. Oh man, Shuddy doesn't even want us reading his lips on the call. He just deactivated his video. This must be some big acai problems.
Yeah, or maybe using some racial or homophobic slurs.
Oh no. So it didn't take long.
Hopefully HR's not on that call, huh?
It didn't take long before Dom lost interest in the water park and was like, all right, we got to get out of here. And then Shuddy got all salty because he had to like round up other people to find them so we could leave earlier than we planned to. And
it sounds like there's a lot of bit of Shuddy saltiness.
Yeah. Because, as the best man, he arranged the whole trip, and I think everybody just kind of looked to him when we were moving on to the next phase to sort of be the wrangler. And Shuddy he was not happy about that. So we get back to the Airbnb, and fucking 9 people had to shower in 2 bathrooms, which we surprisingly pulled off, and went to the Mount Airy Casino. So I'm kind of thinking like, all right, we did this whole trip to the Poconos. It's Dom's bachelor party. This is what Dom wanted on the docket. He wanted N64. He wanted a water park. He wanted the casino, specifically the buffet at the casino. And that I will say is I've only had a couple casino all you can eat buffets. And I've been to like 1 or 2 that were like, wow, this is just like constant, like high tier, high quality shit. This one was a lot of options, but I don't think I would grade the quality of the food all that high. But I wanted to make sure because it was $40. It's kind of pricey. I was like, I'm eating $40 worth of food here.
I mean, that's like Korean barbecue.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. But Korean barbecue is probably better, right?
Oh, yeah. Although this wasn't bad. I'm not like, it sounds like I'm talking shit, but it wasn't terrible. But like, again,
appetizers, desserts too.
Oh, I got 3 full plates of food and then went back and got double desserts. I got like this peanut butter chocolate Reese's peanut butter cup crumble pudding and a slice of Boston cream pie, which was wonderful.
Sounds wonderful.
And then I was like, I was so focused on getting my money's worth. I was like, oh no, I'm still high from Shuddy's vape pen. I'm tired from getting no sleep. And now I have eaten myself into a food coma. And it's 8:00 at night. And I was like, oh my God, now we have to go fucking out into the casino. I have to try and rally and drink to like get some sort of energy to propel me the rest of the way. So I did my usual casino move. I sat down at a video roulette machine because I can't handle playing any games with real humans because they always yell at me. Every time I play blackjack, I get yelled at, either by the dealer or another person who's mad at me for hitting. And like, I played at some casino once, and I don't know, I was rolling the dice, and I was like, all right, hit me. And I busted, and the old guy next to me got fucking pissed at me and started yelling at me. He's like, that was my card. That was mine. I was like, well, fuck you, buddy. I went first. It was my turn. I wanted to press my luck and take a card.
I was feeling good.
And then anytime I play any other table game, like roulette or something, I always commit some fucking faux pas I didn't know existed, and I get yelled at for that. So it's just like, you know what? I'm going to sit here by myself. I don't have to talk to a dealer. No one's judging me. No one's yelling at me. And I sort of do wuss bets. I just, it's $1 per bet on those machines, and I'll spend like $5 or $6 per spin. And that keeps you generally fluctuating for a while. So I sat there for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours playing and ended up just down $35. And it didn't take long before Dom was like, I'm over this. Because when we left the buffet, I thought we were going to the casino because Dom likes to gamble. Apparently, Dom doesn't really know how to gamble. So he goes to a slot machine. He's like, I want to go
very believable.
I want to go to the easy ones. What are the easy ones? And I'm like, Dom, there's no easy ones. This is a casino. They're designed to rob you. Nothing here is easy. And he's like, well, there's all these complicated video slot machines that have like 17 rollers, and there's like 10 trillion lines you can bet on. I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. You just want a simple one that has like sevens, cherries, the bar. So he sits down at this machine, and he's trying to feed it a single dollar bill. And Shuddy was like, Dom, I don't think it takes singles. You need bigger bills than that. He's like, no, they'll take it. And he's doing that thing where he takes the dollar bill and like sharpens it on the corner. He's like, they'll take it. And it will not take it. When Dom finally admitted defeat, that like, okay, that's not going to work out for me, he looks up at Shuddy and he goes, well, this isn't off to a good start. So he puts a 5 in, loses on all of his spins, and then just gets so angry. He was so unhappy that he played $5 worth of a slot machine and didn't win. So he's like, what is this even all about? What are we doing here?
Oh, wow. So he wasn't into the casino idea.
Not after being there, I don't think. Because
Did he find out about it beforehand and express any reluctance?
No. But again,
okay.
I'm sure Dom didn't have 100% in his gas tank. He was hungover. He's not a huge risk taker, so he's not going to go and put big money down on blackjack or craps or anything. And then it just got to a point where he was like, you know what? We have a whole bunch of beer back at the house still. It's our last night. We have to check out in the morning. There's still like pizza there. Why are we here paying casino prices for drinks? Let's just go back. So at this point, by the time we get back to the Airbnb, I don't know, Shuddy can confirm, but I think it might have been around like 11 p.m. we got back. And my ass was kicked from the day. From no sleep, being burnt out, having a few cocktails, stopping drinking, eating myself into a food coma.
I feel like you guys didn't take advantage enough of the water park. That sounded like a lot of fun.
I mean, Shuddy and I did every slide that exists. Every slide that was open, we did it.
Never mind.
No, we didn't.
Maybe
We didn't
others
do the
didn't.
instructor. We missed one. But we planned on going back in and doing them again after we went outside and smoked to come into everybody but Kevin and I and two other members of the party, Brad and Jimmy, standing at the lockers fully dressed and ready to leave.
Yeah, it was...
How many of the people did you know in the party, Kevin?
I knew everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty much like everybody there were people that used to party at Dom and Bonbon's apartment post-college. And we had those parties going for years, and they were quite epic. And it
They were
turns out,
ragers, for sure.
we cannot hang like we used to. Not even close.
Yeah, you guys are washed.
Yeah.
We all are.
Like, nobody got fucked up Saturday night. We tried. I tried, like, pounding beers, and I'm like, oh, God, my stomach is so full from that fucking buffet.
Didn't sound like you tried that hard.
I knew I was defeated. I got, like, 2 beers down at the house, and I was so full, I felt like I was going to pop like a water balloon. I'm like, man, this fucking blows. I really did try my hardest, but I can't do it anymore. I can't hang. I'm just a fucking defeated old man. Yeah, and then that was pretty much it, I think. Woke up in the morning, checked out. I mean, I will say this. So, Dom on Saturday night, when I was just like, I got to throw in the towel. This is fucking embarrassing, but this is futile. I have to go to bed. Dom was like, hey, do you want to hear this song that my son made? And I was like, he's like, yeah, he made it with AI. He went to this website and he put all these lyrics in.
No, so how it came up was I said something earlier in the day about that I had bubble guts. And he's like, oh, tonight I need to play the song that Anthony made about bubble guts.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of people that listen to MSPH have made AI songs based on the show, like revolving around inside jokes, each one of us getting our own little dedicated song where they just feed the AI like inside jokes about us, or like me hating onions or shitting my pants or something like that. And they're funny and they're good. It's like, wow, that's impressive. But like, you know, I can't play AI shit on the show. It's just there's so much fighting against it in the filmmaking world, and I couldn't in good conscience play.
You can't take sides against the family.
Yeah, and I couldn't do that for MSPH. So when Dom was like, yeah, Anthony made this AI song about bubble guts, I was internally like, all right, yeah, let's hear it. Let's go.
But on the upside, Anthony wrote all of the lyric with a little bit of help from Dom, wrote all the lyrics, and they fed them into the AI, and the AI just put it to music, essentially.
Yeah, I think Dom wrote one single line. Everything else was Anthony. And I was, now, mind you, I was on the verge of like passing out. And this song was so fucking funny. I was like wheeze laughing, tears rolling down my face. I was like, Dom, you got to play it again. So I know I just said that people have sent us tons of AI stuff about the show, and we've never played it. But Anthony's he's a little kid. He's a little kid. He doesn't have the means to put a whole band together and make a song.
He is...
Don't take it easy on him. Don't take it easy on him.
No, I'm taking it easy on him.
He is also the first recognized Puminati since birth.
What about Kwame's kids?
On the day that they were born, do they have a picture in a Puminati hat?
Absolutely not. All right, fair enough.
As I said, first officially recognized.
All right.
So even though this goes against my beliefs on AI, Dom's son is like a very, very creative kid. Dom was also showing me these videos he made. So Anthony writes...
You're also not beholden to your beliefs. Go flip-flop. Which is a good thing. Sometimes.
If I'm presented with new evidence, I am open-minded and I will listen. And Dom was also showing us, so Anthony writes, shoots, and directs and edits all these. He writes sequels to horror movies that don't have sequels, and Dom was playing those for us, and they're really fucking good. They're good. They're cute. They're funny. It's like, it's kind of impressive that because he tries to get artsy with some of the shots and transitions, and I'm like, man, look at this kid going for it. So as like a 10-year-old trying to really, really be creative. That's who should be using AI. 10-year-olds that want to do something creative. They don't have all the tools at their disposal. They can't start a fucking band. So I will play, you guys, Anthony's Billy Bubblegut song because it's so funny, and I want to encourage the kid to keep on being creative, and eventually he won't need to use AI anymore.
I would like to petition that Billy Bubbleguts becomes a secondary mascot for Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Is there a visual reputation of
Not yet.
representation of him?
Not yet. We did request Dom ask Anthony to draw us a picture of Billy Bubbleguts, so that is incoming.
Well, we have artistic Illuminati. Maybe someone additionally can give it a shot.
Look, if anybody wants to take a stab at drawing Billy
Bubbleguts
Bubbleguts and send it our way, I'm down to do like a Billy Bubbleguts art show, an art gallery.
Fart gallery, I believe, is what you meant to say.
Ooh, nice catch, Shuddy. Solid.
Good job, buddy.
All right, so without further ado, here is Billy Bubbleguts.
Once there was
Further
this guy
approve.
named Billy, and he always gets bubble guts. Sometimes he gets them and gurgles. He runs really fast to the toilet. Billy farts on people when he gets bubble guts. He makes them squirm as they choke on his farts. Once he ate baked beans and had a gas attack like Granny, and he always gets bubble guts. He traps his fart in a jar and lets it out in someone's face. Billy farts on people when he gets bubble guts. He makes them squirm as they choke on his farts. Once he ate baked beans and had a gas attack like Granny, and he always gets bubble guts. He traps his fart in a jar and lets it out in someone's face. Billy farts on people when he gets bubble guts. He makes them squirm as they choke on his farts. Billy Bubble Guts, the stinkiest kid there is. Billy Bubble Guts, the Bubble Gut Kid.
Billy Bubbleguts.
Billy farts on people when he gets bubble guts. He makes them squirm as they choke on his farts.
I love that it sounds like a supermarket jingle.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
this part, the AI just starts crying. It's almost like, why was I brought into existence for this?
Billy farts on
I don't
people
like
when
that.
he gets bubble guts. He makes them squirm as they choke on his farts.
So it basically just keeps repeating like that. But yeah, I was a big fan of Billy Bubbleguts.
I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of Billy Bubbleguts, and I hope
Yeah.
the Puminati are as well.
It sounds like a Blink-182 song.
Kind of, yeah.
And then that like he makes people choke on his farts or whatever. It almost sounds like a late 80s, early 90s supermarket commercial jingle. Like, we've got lots of bananas for a very good price.
That does kind of give off a supermarket quiz vibe.
A little bit. Yeah.
Or just like a game show jingle.
Yeah, so when we got back to PA, we drove Bonbon and Dominic back to Shuddy's place where their car was, and then Shuddy drove me to Red Bank because I had a late flight on Sunday. It was either a super early morning flight, and I'm not waking up early enough to get to Newark from the Poconos for a morning flight.
I appreciate that very much.
A super expensive afternoon flight, or a cheap late at night flight. So I had so much time to kill. I hit up my mom. I'm like, all right, well, maybe Shuddy can just drop me off at my mom's place, spend some time with her. She could take me to the airport. But she was like off on some like girls trip with her friends from high school out of state. And she was like, well, hit up Joy, because Joy's meeting up with Nana in Red Bank. So I paid for Shuddy's meal to take me out there because it's a 2-hour drive to get to Red Bank. and met up with my sister and my nephew, who now calls me Uncle Car Keys, which I don't know why. I've never done anything associated with car keys, but that's my name now, Uncle Car Keys. And I also
Kevin Car Keys, 3Ks.
Yep.
I said that at the dinner table. I'm like, man, make sure no one spells car keys with a K. We can't have that acronym. But I also never realized that I never mentioned that my sister is having another baby. So we get there, and Shuddy just sees a very pregnant Joy.
Like Joy gets out of the car, and I see her, and then she walks past the trunk, and there's just a belly. I was like, oh my God, you guys are having another baby. Kevin's like, I told you that. I was like, no, you never fucking did.
Yeah, I never heard that either.
Yeah, oops. Yeah, because my Joy told me I was like one of the first people to know. Like, she didn't even tell the whole family yet. She was like, yeah, it's really early, so we're not saying anything until we get to, like, the safe part. And then when she finally told everybody, I had known for so long that I kind of spaced on it. But yeah, I'm going to be an uncle once again.
Can that be the second kid that's born a Puminati member? Let's get a shirt over there.
We have to make a poo onesie. A number twosie.
just a hole in the whatchamacallit,
Yeah.
in the anal region.
So Kevin tells me we're gonna go to dinner with his sister, brother-in-law, nephew, nana, and aunt.
Sounds wonderful.
But neither one of us understood the type of restaurant this reservation was at. So rolled in looking like a couple degenerates wearing similar things to what we are both wearing now. Kevin had on a long sleeve Black Dahlia Murder t-shirt, and I had a Crooks and Castles t-shirt on with Medusa with a stick-up boy bandana over her face as we walk into a fine dining establishment.
Yeah, at first we were
I
like,
thought
shit.
Kevin would have went anyways.
They might not let us in. Because it was this place, Molly Pitcher Inn in Red Bank, which that's like old money. It's not like a super expensive restaurant, but that's where like old people with money in New Jersey go to. Like, you walk into that place and it looks like it's fucking old. It's old looking.
The average age of the diners at this restaurant, even with Kevin, myself, Jack, Joy, and Jeff, who are all
cool
under
Jeff. Cool Jeff, just so nobody gets confused.
all under 45. The average age was probably 72.
Yeah, it was
Bananas.
It was a blue hair special at that place. But thankfully they let us in with no problem. We stopped by Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, Kevin Smith's comic shop in Jersey. Kind of like a ritual. Anytime I'm there, I have to pop in. And it's sick. They have, like, if you're a fan of Kevin Smith movies, there's so many props there. They have the walrus suit from Tusk. They have, original script pages from Chasing Amy and Mallrats. They have, like, the original artwork of the comic book art from Chasing Amy. A Buddy Christ with a pew you can kneel at from Dogma.
I feel like the old location had more memorabilia, though.
They might have. But it was, it was dope. Got a few.
It's always fun to go to the stash.
Yeah, got like some Clerks merch. And then my sister and brother-in-law took me to the airport. We put on Billy Bubbleguts in the car, and little Jack loved it. He was fucking clapping along in his car seat.
Feels like a Jack type, little Jack type song.
Yep. Listen to.
I mean,
when Uncle
we probably have the same sense of humor as little Jack.
Yeah, when
It's a little more vulgar.
When Uncle Car Keys comes around, it's fucking fart music.
Uncle Kevin Car Keys. Just shorten it to Uncle KKK.
How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you, Jeff?
I'm sorry. I take it back.
Yeah. So that was it. We survived. There was only really one dangerous night. Friday night was the one night everybody went too hard, and we fucking paid for it the rest of the weekend.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I got to say, I was bummed out. I thought there was going to be way more N64. People had zero patience for any N64 playing. Every time a new game got switched in, one match was played, everybody lost interest and walked back out into the living room.
I mean, I don't think it was the end. I think that pretty much happened even with the Switch. The only thing that kept attention for a bit was Quiplash.
Yeah.
And that only made it 2 games before it got shut off. So it was
I
just...
can't remember. I feel like I hate Quiplash, and I can't remember why.
Yes, you do hate it.
Oh, is that where you...
You're given prompts, and then you have to like write joke answers, and then they're blind pitted up against each other, and everybody else playing votes on which one they like more.
I remember not liking it, but that I like dominated Raw Dog in that one. That was the only thing in game night that I had won. I figured out if you can just work midgets and cum into a phrase, like you're gonna win Quiplash.
Pretty much, yeah. Everything is cum.
But I did it the best.
Yeah. So yeah, we came, we saw, we old man conquered. We were back to tell the tales, and we were also back for some NFL Pick Them.
Yeah. I made the mistake of telling my bookmaker where my brother lived, so now I have to pay him all the money.
He has your family hostage.
Or Erica and Bill are fucked.
So, Shuddy, what are the official results from this week of the Pick Thems?
Well, Kevin Kraft has gotten his mojo back and once again won the week.
Fuck yeah. I got like a brief update when we were at dinner yesterday, but I didn't know the full results. So suck on my dick.
So going into dinner yesterday, the only 2 games left to play were the Giants game and the Steelers game, and Kevin was 4-0 at that point. However, he did lose the last 2 games of the day.
Oh, son of a bitch! Really?
I came in second at 3-3. And taking it in the rear, as always, Mr. Doogie Boy the cocksucker, who went 1-5. The only team that came through for him was his New York Football Giants.
Dicks in my butt. Wait, you went 3-3?
I did.
Fuck. Shiggity boom boom blow. I thought I looked at it. I thought I was going to be 1 game behind you since we both picked the Steelers. I guess I did the easy math wrong.
You picked the Dolphins, Seahawks, Buccaneers, and Browns in the first 4 games. All losers.
Incorrectly.
Then the Giants won, and then the Steelers lost. I picked the Titans, Lions, Bucks, Commanders, Seahawks, Steelers.
Yeah, well, I'm a big dumb gambling homo right now, so I got what I deserve.
So Kevin, as the winner of the week, official rankings as of right now, Kevin, 16-13, first place.
Woo!
Shuddy, losing record, but in second place at 14-16, because Jeff is in last place at 12-18. Kevin has a 4-game lead on Jeff.
That's so Dicks in my butt. Dicks in my butt. As you guys will hear in the Easter egg, I am not trying to force extra plays here. I am down just to, whatever.
We have a couple of games that fill 2 of the criteria for this week, so we're only picking 5. So tonight, Kevin, the first game is the New Orleans Taints against the Kansas City Queefs.
Ooh. Taints and Queefs. Taints and Queefs.
Taint and Queef. Taint Queef. Queef team.
Huh. You know what? I feel like
This is tough.
after eating Mr. Taylor Swift's cereal, I feel like if that is what's powering that guy, he's in good shape. So I'm going to go with the Queefs.
Hey, I am going to take the Taints. Jeff?
Dicks in my butt.
I'm going. I'm going Queefs as well.
Oh, shit. Can I change my answer?
Yes, please.
All right. Jeff, the San Francisco 69ers versus the Seattle Queefhawks.
The Fighting Sokoviches, who we just fucking punched right in their sphincters. I'll go with the Niners, the 69ers.
I'm going to go with the Queefhawks. 49ers are on a bit of a skid.
Yeah.
Man, that's the last place you want to skid is in a 69.
Yeah.
So wait, what does
Jeff.
Sokovich have to do with one of these teams?
He lives in Washington State, so he's a Seahawks fan.
Okay. Well, in honor of Sokovich, I'll go with the Seahawks.
Oh my God. I gotta catch up this week. Come on.
The Queefcocks.
All right. The next game is the Cleveland Browns versus the Philadelphia Spread Eagles. I am taking the Eagles, shockingly. Kevin.
How did the Cleveland Brown Stars do last week?
They got destroyed by the Washington Commanders.
And they're getting destroyed all the time, right?
Pretty much.
They pretty much played the worst game of the week last week.
This is a situation where if the Browns win on Sunday, I will be in the city of Philadelphia working. I will be heading over to Lincoln Financial Field with a pitchfork and a torch and leading the angry mob to throw Nick Sirianni into the Delaware River with cement shoes on.
I'm going to waterboard him with acai.
Damn. Taking Charlottesville to Philly. That's strong.
Well,
I'm
I was
actually
trying not to. Like, when I realized where I was going, I was like, well, I'm not going to say where that usually ends. We'll throw him in the river. We'll throw him in the river.
I'll do it. I'll go with the fucking Browns. They're me and Kevin's picked to win the Super Bowl. It's looking real bad. But
They got to win something, right? So I'll go with the Brown Stars as well. Isn't that how it works?
Sure. I mean, that's how it's worked this year. All these outcomes are fucking ridiculous. The biggest favorites every week have lost. Every single week. There's like this big survivors pool where you pick one team just to win every week of the season, and then the person who survives wins the total money. And this pool in Vegas, there's 14,000 entries at $1,000. So the first place is 14 million. They are down to 220 people through 5 weeks. 220 people out of 14,500.
Yikes.
In 5 weeks. It's crazy. The number one favorite loses every single week. So, I mean, Philly should win, but
What do you know what the line is right now?
yeah, it's 9.5. They're the biggest favorite of any in any game for any team this season.
What, the Eagles?
There
We're
hasn't been a
9.5 point favorites. How the fuck is that even possible with how bad they're playing? That's insane.
Yeah, the idea is you guys are getting healthier after your bye week. You should be getting back Batman, AJ Brown, Lane Johnson, and I mean the Browns. Like even Kevin knows this. They look terrible.
Yeah, just from what I hear from these weekly pick-thems, I realize I've made a pretty stupid fucking error saying that the Brown Stars are gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry,
They had
Pooper Bowl.
I feel like they had fairly decent odds of winning the Super Bowl at the start of the season because we told you that it was not an awful pick. Let me see if I can get
I wonder if I'm the one that doomed them.
If there are odds, I might be able to help you. What are you looking for?
the current odds of the Browns winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, it's probably 100 to 1. I can pull it up right now, though.
So did we pick everything for next week?
Yeah, no. We need to pick now the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking the Lions.
The Browns are plus 40,000 right now. They have the third worst odds.
Oh, yikes!
Real bad.
But you know what that means, Kevin?
Yeah.
If you put $100 on them right now to win the Super Bowl, and they do, that 100,000 will turn into 40,000.
Okay, 100 will turn into 40,000, right?
$100 will turn into 40,000.
Dude, I want to make this bet.
I do too.
Oh
I mean, if
God.
John Cougar Mellencamp ever wins an Oscar, I'm going to be a very wealthy man.
Absolutely.
I'd even be willing to put $1 down and just turn that into 400.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, okay. So
what's the final game?
I'm gonna go with the Lions because I feel like I didn't pick them and they won.
So this is a game that could be pretty close because the Lions are really good. The Cowboys seem to have gotten through their little issues and won a hard game last night.
They're going to go back into their issues.
Me last night.
So who are you picking?
Jeff,
I'm with Kevin.
So
I feel like how many picks are me and Kevin aligned on?
In this particular week, 3.
Oh, baby.
Well, you got a chance, Jeff.
And then the final game is the Cincinnati Bungholes versus the New York Giant Dildos.
I'll go with the Giants.
I'm taking the Bungholes.
Damn it, I wanted to say it first. I'm taking the Bungholes.
You do know that that's the Bengals, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I'm learning a lot from these pick them, Shuddy.
You're going to know all of the teams by the time the season is over.
Don't worry, I'll forget them all by next year. I'll probably
I think
be better.
You're going to retain it.
I'll probably be better at that than I am at naming all of our planets like I did in last week's Patreon show.
Well, like you didn't do in last week's Patreon
No,
show.
I got there eventually.
That's right. It did take like way too much of the Patreon show for you to figure out all 9 planets.
Yeah. And for anybody who's watching on YouTube, if you notice a change in Shuddy Boy's background, you can scope out that beautiful framed Second Coming of John Cooper poster.
That is cool, yeah. That kind of blended in with everything else that's got going, but fuck yeah, dude.
And if anybody wants to get their hands on them.
My unsigned copy, my unsigned poster of the Second Coming of John Cooper.
I would have signed it if you wanted it, but you didn't ask for a signed one.
And you didn't pay him $10.
I mean, I didn't want to just assume and sign it and then have you be like, what the fuck is all this squiggle? I wanted a clean poster. Just bring it with you at the end of the month. I'll sign it there.
Show up to the movie at the film festival with the poster.
Yeah.
Like a fucking
Every one of the Puminati should. No, every one of the Puminati. That'll help him in the that'll help him win the festival award, the movie.
Well, if you would like to get your hands on one of those, you can go to etsy.com/shop/John Cooper movie. And I have only been promoting them on the podcast. I haven't put it out on social media yet. I haven't promoted it on like Facebook. It has literally only been on the podcast. They're going quick, And this is going to be the last push I do on the show before I start promoting it on social media, which will most likely clean the rest of them out. So, if you wanted to get a Second Coming of John Cooper poster, this is your time to get it. Etsy.com.
Most likely going to lose followers, let's be honest.
Probably. But Etsy.com/shop/John Cooper movie. If you would like it, there's the signed option, there's the unsigned option. You can get it personalized, but if you want to make my life easier, just let me know who exactly I'm making it out to, because I've had some people reach out and be like, hey, this is blah, 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 and they give me their nickname, and then they don't say if I'm giving it to their making it out to their government name or to their Puminati nickname or whatever. So let me know which one you want.
Supposed to be my kid.
Yeah. I had somebody ask me, they were like, can you make it out to a rocket ship that's shaped like a penis? And I did it. I don't know what the hell that means, but I accommodated, and I wrote 2, and then I drew a rocket ship that looked like a dick. So, you can get weird and specific like that if you would like. And I guess speaking of our Patreon show, if you would like to get in there, by the way, I should say, I'm not like selling these posters to try and do some like money-making scheme or whatever. The entries into film festivals and stuff cost money. And then if you get in, like some of them want a DCP, so you have to like get these hard drives made of the movie to show in a cinema. And then there's like flights and stuff. So I'm pretty much just selling these so I can break even putting it into film festivals and stuff. Not trying to be a fucking shill and sell you guys like Mad Scientist Party Hour bath mats or anything. But anyway, if you want more MSPH in your life, and I truly hope you do, because some of the stuff we're doing behind that paywall is just, chef's kiss. Top tier shit. So, patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour, the $5 tier, gets you a little mini bonus podcast every week. And when it's in season, Crafter Jeff Shuddy edition, which is our Master Chef competition recap show, I guess. All seasons that we've done, they're available. The whole back catalog is there.
We got a Dragon Ball Queefer going to do somewhat soon, right?
Yeah, but that, like all the other content, is on the $10 tier. So if you want to hear Jeff...
Not all of it, some of it.
If you want to hear Jeff watch the first episode of an anime series and then give basically a book report on it, Dragon Ball Queef is waiting for you. Queef or no Queef, Supermarket Queefs, the video of the Patreon episodes that we do every week, Kevin's Nerd Hole, Snack Attack, What the Fuck Did I Just Watch with Shuddy and Dom. I put up a quick 60 seconds with Kevin on the $10 tier from the Dad-chelor party swim up bar. So tons and tons of stuff are waiting for you there. And it helps keep this podcast in existence because, I don't know, I kind of feel like if our Patreon went kaput, that's the final nail in MSPH's coffin. So it keeps us alive, it keeps the show going. It supports the homies.
That's grim.
But
I love it. Scare people into fucking giving us money. Honestly, if we don't get more Patreon subscribers, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to shoot myself in the head.
Save Jeff's life. Sign up for our Patreon, please.
But it's going to be a murder-suicide. I'm taking Kevin first.
Oh, fuck. All right, come on. We need your help, people. I'm kidding. It's not destitute.
Yeah, no, I would never do that.
But you could also help Jeff out by listening to Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark.
Man, I really want to stop talking about wanting to kill myself too. But here we are again, talking about my bet and stuff. Swear to God,
if you want to know what bets not to make, listen to Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark.
Well, you know what bets to fade and what to make on opposite sides of me. Also, you got the NFL pick them, which also helps you out. Yeah, it's been rough. It's been really just terrible luck. I'm going to get on the right side of variance with the NFL. Golf, it's over until next year. I couldn't be happier. So it's all football. We'll do some NBA stuff too here later this month, but definitely check out NFL Week 6 podcast coming up Wednesday or Thursday. Outkick Bets with your boy Jeff Clark.
Check it out. And you can also check out these episodes minus the Easter egg on YouTube if you want to get the visual element to it. YouTube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. You can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
At Jeffrey Records.
And at MSPH Podcast. And at John Cooper Movie. And I believe that's it. Unless, Shuddy Boy, you got any major announcements to make?
No, sir.
All right. No Shuddy Boy at the Chuckle Hut this week. But Jeff might be somewhere. He's stripping at Thunder from Down Under in Atlantic City. Shaking his wiener. Did I get that wrong?
I'm pretty much... No, you nailed it. I'm pretty much hooking for my book yet at this point. Got to pay those debts.
But were you raising your hand like you had something to announce? Or
I was waving. I was waving goodbye.
You're just faking me out. Okay.
No, well, sorry. I was waving to the 20 people we have watching on YouTube. If it doesn't get up to 25, Dragon's done.
R.I.P. Jeff. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for the support. But until next time, something